Hello, gentlemen. If you've been eating honey every single day, but still wake up without morning wood, there's one ancient spice you're not mixing in. And clinical studies show it can increase your free testosterone by 12% and restore firm erections in just 8 weeks. I'm not talking about some weird exotic root. This is something that's been sitting quietly in health food stores for decades, used by fertility clinics, but somehow nobody told you about it. If you're over 50 and your erections aren't what they used to be, your problem might not be your age. It might be that you're eating honey alone when you should be eating it with this. The spice I'm talking about is fenugreek. Most of you have never even heard of it. It's small yellowish seeds with a slightly bitter taste. Here's the thing. 3 major clinical studies involving over 300 men between 40 and 70 years old proved that 500 to 600 milligrams daily increased testosterone, improved libido, and brought back firm erections in 4 to 8 weeks. Not in rats, in real men. And when you combine it with raw honey, something magical happens. The honey makes the active compounds absorb faster, and the boron in honey unlocks testosterone that's trapped in your body. It's like turning on a switch you didn't know was off. My name is Dr. Sarah Hewitt, and welcome back to the Beyond the Pill channel. I've been working with men over 50 for years, and I know how frustrating it is when your body doesn't respond the way it used to. But here's what I've learned from recent research. There are natural strategies that work because they fix what's actually broken. Your testosterone production, your blood flow, your insulin sensitivity. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how fenugreek works, why honey makes it 10 times more effective, the exact proportion you need, and the best time to take it. Before we dive in, drop your first name and age in the comments, and tell me what city you're watching from. And if this helps you, hit that like button and subscribe. All right, we're going to cover what makes fenugreek the most powerful natural erection booster, how it reactivates your testosterone, the precise ratio that works, when to take it, and 3 habits that triple your results. At the end, a simple checklist you can save. Ready? Let's start with why this spice changes everything. So why have you never heard of fenugreek if it's so powerful? Simple. It doesn't make pharmaceutical companies any money. You can't patent a seed that's been growing wild for 3,000 years. Fenugreek has been used in Ayurvedic medicine since ancient times, mostly in India and the Middle East, where men would chew the seeds or mix them into food to boost stamina, strength, and yes, sexual performance. But here in the West, we got distracted by flashy blue pills and expensive treatments, while this humble spice sat ignored on the shelf. It's not sexy. It doesn't have a billion-dollar marketing campaign. But it works, and the science is finally catching up to what ancient healers knew all along. Let me tell you what fenugreek actually is. It's a plant in the legume family, and the seeds are what we use. They're small, hard, and golden brown, about the size of a small pebble. When you grind them into powder, they have this distinct smell, slightly sweet and bitter at the same time, almost like maple syrup mixed with celery. Some guys say it's an acquired taste, but honestly, when you mix it with honey, you barely notice it. The magic isn't in the taste anyway. It's in 3 active compounds: protodiacin, trigonylene, and diosgenin. These are the molecules that tell your body to start producing more testosterone again, like flipping a biological switch that's been stuck in the off position for years. Now, you might be wondering, why not just use cinnamon or ginger? Those are easier to find, right? Here's the difference. Cinnamon and ginger are fantastic for blood flow and circulation. They help dilate your blood vessels, which is great for getting blood down there. But they don't touch your testosterone levels. They're like putting premium gas in a car with a dying engine. Fenugreek, on the other hand, rebuilds the engine. A study published in 2017 followed 120 men aged 43 to 70 for 12 weeks. Half took 600 milligrams of fenugreek daily. The other half got a placebo. The fenugreek group saw a 12% increase in free testosterone, better morning erections, and higher sexual satisfaction scores. The placebo group? Nothing. That's the difference between a spice that tastes good and a spice that actually changes your biology. Let me tell you about Robert. He's 73, lives in Florida, been married for 40 years. A couple of years ago, he started noticing he couldn't get fully hard anymore. His doctor handed him a VIAGRA prescription and told him it was just age. Robert didn't want to depend on pills for the rest of his life, so he started researching. He came across fenugreek in a forum for older athletes who used it to boost their gym performance. He figured if it works for muscle, maybe it works for everything else. He started taking half a teaspoon of fenugreek powder mixed with a tablespoon of raw honey every morning. Within 3 weeks, he woke up with an erection for the first time in 2 years. By week 8, he was having sex twice a week with his wife, something he thought was gone forever. He told me, "I feel like I got my body back." That's the thing about fenugreek. It's not a quick fix like a pill that kicks in for 4 hours and then leaves you empty. It's a slow rebuild. It takes consistency, but the results are real, and they last because you're fixing the root cause, not just masking the symptom. And when you add honey to the mix, you're not just making it taste better, you're amplifying the absorption of those active compounds and adding boron, a trace mineral that research shows can increase free testosterone by up to 28% in just 1 week. It's like fenugreek is the key, and honey is the lock that opens the door to your dormant vitality. Most men walk past this combination every single day and have no idea what they're missing. Let's talk about what's actually happening inside your body when you take fenugreek with honey. This isn't voodoo, it's biochemistry, and once you understand it, you'll see why this combination is so much smarter than popping a pill. The first mechanism is protodiacin. This is the star compound in fenugreek seeds, and what it does is truly remarkable. Protodiacin signals your pituitary gland to release more luteinizing hormone, or LH. Think of LH as the messenger that travels down to your testicles and says, "Hey, start making testosterone again." As you age, this signal gets weaker and weaker. Protodiacin turns up the volume. A study in the journal Phytotherapy Research tracked men taking 600 milligrams of fenugreek for 8 weeks and found significant increases in both total and free testosterone. Free testosterone is the kind that actually matters, the kind your body can use right now for energy, muscle, libido, and erections. Now here's where honey becomes essential. Protodiacin is fat-soluble, which means it doesn't absorb well on its own. When you mix fenugreek powder into raw honey, the natural sugars and enzymes in honey act as carriers, pulling those compounds into your bloodstream faster and more efficiently. It's like the difference between throwing a letter in the mailbox and handing it directly to the postman. But honey does something even better. Raw, unprocessed honey contains boron, a trace mineral most men are deficient in. Boron has been shown in multiple studies to reduce the amount of sex hormone-binding globulin, or SHBG, in your blood. SHBG is like a jail cell for testosterone. It binds to your testosterone and makes it useless. Boron breaks those handcuffs. One study found that just 10 milligrams of boron daily increased free testosterone by 28% in 1 week. A tablespoon of raw honey gives you about 0.5 milligrams, so you're getting a steady, gentle boost every single day. The third mechanism is insulin sensitivity. Here's something most guys don't realize. Insulin resistance kills your testosterone. When your cells stop responding to insulin properly, your body pumps out more and more of it, and high insulin levels suppress testosterone production directly. Fenugreek contains a compound called trigonelline that improves how your cells respond to insulin. Better insulin sensitivity means lower chronic insulin levels, which means your testicles can do their job again. It's an indirect boost, but it's powerful. especially if you're carrying extra belly fat or have prediabetes. This is why some men see improvements not just in erections, but in energy, mood, and even body composition after a few weeks on fenugreek and honey. The fourth piece of the puzzle is nitric oxide. While fenugreek's main job is hormonal, it does have mild vasodilating effects, meaning it helps your blood vessels relax and open up. This is critical for erections because an erection is basically a hydraulic event. Your penis needs blood to flow in fast and stay there. Nitric oxide is the molecule that makes that happen. Fenugreek doesn't produce as much nitric oxide as, say, beets or watermelon, but it contributes. And when you combine the testosterone boost with better blood flow, you get erections that are not only possible but strong and sustainable. The kind you had 20 years ago. So let's put it all together. You take fenugreek. Protodiosine tells your body to make more testosterone. Honey delivers it faster and frees up trapped testosterone with boron. Your insulin sensitivity improves, which supports even more testosterone production. Blood flow increases. Within 4 weeks, most men start noticing more energy and stronger libido. By week 8, morning erections return. By week 12, you're looking at consistent, firm erections that don't quit halfway through. It's not magic. It's just your body remembering how to work the way it's supposed to. All right, let's get practical. You want the exact recipe that works, not some vague, mix them together and hope for the best advice. Based on the clinical studies and what I've seen work with real patients, here's the formula. Half a teaspoon of fenugreek powder mixed with 1 tablespoon of raw honey. That's it. Half a teaspoon of fenugreek gives you roughly 500 to 600 milligrams, which is the dosage used in the research. 1 tablespoon of honey is about 15 grams, enough to carry the compounds and deliver that boron boost without spiking your blood sugar too much. Now, not all honey is created equal. You need raw, unprocessed honey. The stuff in the plastic bear bottle at the supermarket has been heated, filtered, and stripped of most of its enzymes and minerals. You're basically getting sugar water. Look for honey that says raw or unpasteurized on the label. Dark honey like buckwheat or manuka tends to have more boron and antioxidants than light-colored clover honey. But honestly, any raw honey will work. You can find it at health food stores, farmers markets, or online. Expect to pay around $12 to $18 for a 16-ounce jar, which will last you about 3 weeks. For fenugreek, you have 2 options, seeds or powder. Seeds are cheaper, but you'll need to grind them yourself in a coffee grinder, and they're hard as rocks. Powder is more convenient. Make sure it's organic if possible. And check the expiration date, because fenugreek loses potency over time. You can buy it at most health food stores like Whole Foods or Sprouts, or online on Amazon, iHerb, or Vitacost. A 4-ounce bag of organic fenugreek powder costs about $10 to $15 and lasts a month. Don't buy capsules for this recipe. You want the raw powder so you can mix it with honey. Here's how to prepare it. Take a small glass jar with a lid, like a mason jar. Put in 1 tablespoon of raw honey, then add half a teaspoon of fenugreek powder. Stir it well with a spoon until it's fully blended. The mixture will be thick and dark golden. You can make a week's worth at a time if you want, just multiply the amounts. Store it in the fridge and it'll keep for up to 2 weeks. Some guys prefer to mix it fresh each morning, which is fine too. The key is consistency, not perfection. One mistake I see all the time. Guys use too little fenugreek because they don't like the taste. That won't work. You need that 500 milligram dose to get the hormonal effects. Another mistake, buying cheap, stale fenugreek that's been sitting on a warehouse shelf for 2 years. If it doesn't have that distinct maple-like smell when you open the bag, it's probably too old. Fresh fenugreek is potent. You'll know it when you smell it. Timing matters. You can have the perfect recipe, but if you take it at the wrong time, you're wasting half the benefit. The best time to take your fenugreek and honey mix is first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, at least 30 minutes before you eat anything else. Why? Because your digestive system is clean, your insulin is low, and your body absorbs nutrients faster without competition from food. This is when protodiosine and boron hit your bloodstream hardest and start doing their job. Take it, wait half an hour, then have your breakfast. That's the protocol that works. Now, some guys ask me, can I take it right before sex for an instant boost? Honest answer, fenugreek isn't VIAGRA. It doesn't work in 30 minutes. The testosterone-building effects take weeks to kick in. But here's what I've seen. After you've been on it daily for 4 to 6 weeks and your testosterone is already elevated, taking an extra dose 2 to 3 hours before intimacy can give you a slight edge, a little extra blood flow and confidence. Think of it like this. The daily morning dose builds the foundation, and the occasional pre-sex dose is the cherry on top. But don't skip the daily routine hoping for quick fixes. That's not how biology works. Frequency is non-negotiable. You need to take this every single day for at least 8 weeks to see real results. 12 weeks is even better. This isn't a supplement you take when you feel like it. Testosterone production is cumulative. Miss 3 days and you're back to square one. I tell my patients to tie it to a habit they already do, like brushing their teeth or making coffee. Set the jar on the counter next to your toothbrush. You'll never forget. Here's a bonus tip that most guys don't know. Combine this with strength training, especially lower body exercises like squats or deadlifts twice a week. Heavy compound movements naturally boost testosterone on their own. When you stack that with fenugreek, the effects multiply. You don't need to go crazy. Just 20 to 30 minutes of squats, lunges, or leg presses twice a week makes a massive difference. One study showed that men who did resistance training while supplementing with fenugreek had testosterone increases nearly double compared to supplementation alone. The biggest mistakes? Using old, stale fenugreek that's lost its potency. Using pasteurized honey instead of raw. Taking inconsistent doses or skipping days, and expecting results in 1 week. Be patient. Your body didn't lose its testosterone overnight, and it won't come back overnight. But if you stay consistent, by week 8, you'll feel like a different man. Now that you've got the foundation with fenugreek and honey, let me show you 3 simple additions that can triple your results. These aren't complicated or expensive. They're things you can add to your daily routines starting tomorrow. And they work because they attack the problem from different angles. Fenugreek builds your testosterone. These 3 allies supercharge your circulation, fill nutritional gaps, and activate your body's natural repair systems. Think of it like building a house. Fenugreek is the frame. But these 3 are the electrical wiring, plumbing, and insulation that make everything function perfectly. The first ally is beet juice, or raw beets. I know, it sounds boring, but listen to what it does. Beets are absolutely loaded with dietary nitrates, and when you eat them, your body converts those nitrates into nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is the molecule that relaxes the smooth muscle in your blood vessels and allows them to open wide. More nitric oxide equals more blood flow, and more blood flow equals stronger, harder erections. One study gave men with mild erectile dysfunction 500 milliliters of beet juice daily, which is about 2 cups. And after just 2 weeks, their erectile function scores improved significantly. You don't have to drink 2 cups. Even half a cup of pure beet juice in the morning, or 1 medium-sized raw beet grated into a salad at lunch, will give you a noticeable boost. If you hate the taste, mix it with apple or carrot juice. The point is to get those nitrates into your system every single day. When you combine this with fenugreek's testosterone boost, you're creating the perfect storm. More hormone driving your libido, and more blood flow delivering the mechanics. The second ally is zinc. And this one is critical because most men over 50 are deficient without even knowing it. Zinc is directly involved in testosterone production. Your testicles need zinc to manufacture testosterone molecules. When you're low on zinc, your testosterone plummets, no matter what else you're doing. The best food source is oysters. Just 6 medium oysters give you about 30 milligrams of zinc, which is 3 times your daily requirement. Eat oysters twice a week if you can. If oysters aren't your thing, pumpkin seeds are the next best option. A quarter cup of raw pumpkin seeds gives you about 2.5 milligrams of zinc. Eat them as a snack, sprinkle them on salads, or blend them into a smoothie. Another great source is red meat, particularly grass-fed beef. A 4-ounce steak gives you about 5 milligrams. Don't go crazy with zinc supplements unless you've tested your levels, because too much zinc can throw off your copper balance. Food sources are safer and more effective. Within 2 to 3 weeks of adding zinc-rich foods daily, most men notice improvements in energy, mood, and yes, sexual function. It's one of those nutrients where the difference between deficient and sufficient is night and day. The third ally is morning sunlight and a simple 20-minute walk. This might sound too simple to matter, but it's shockingly powerful. When sunlight hits your skin in the morning, your body produces vitamin D, and vitamin D is a precursor to testosterone production. Studies show that men with vitamin D levels above 30 nanograms per milliliter have significantly higher testosterone than men below that threshold. But it's not just about the vitamin D. Morning light also resets your circadian rhythm, which improves your sleep quality, and better sleep means more testosterone, because your body produces most of its testosterone during deep sleep. Add in the walking, which is a low-intensity aerobic activity, and you're improving circulation, reducing cortisol, and priming your cardiovascular system. You don't need to run marathons. Just get outside within an hour of waking up, walk for 20 minutes, and let the sun hit your face and arms. Do this every single day. It costs nothing, takes almost no time, and the compounding effects over weeks and months are incredible. So here's your complete protocol. Every morning, take your fenugreek and honey mix on an empty stomach. 30 minutes later, have breakfast that includes either beet juice, a handful of pumpkin seeds, or both. Go outside for a 20-minute walk in the sunlight. Twice a week, add oysters or red meat to your dinner. Twice a week, do 20 to 30 minutes of squats or leg exercises. That's it. Nothing extreme, nothing expensive. Just consistent, strategic habits stacked on top of each other. What can you expect? In 1 week, you'll notice more energy and mental clarity. In 2 weeks, your libido starts waking up. You'll think about sex more. You'll feel more interested. By 4 weeks, morning erections return. Not every day at first, but a few times a week. By 8 weeks, your erections during intimacy are noticeably firmer and last longer. By 12 weeks, you feel like you've rolled back the clock 10 years. Your confidence comes back. Your relationship improves. You stop seeing your age as a limitation and start seeing it as just a number. All right, gentlemen, if this video helped you, do me a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button right now, smash the like, and drop a comment below telling me your age and what city you're watching from. I want to know who's part of this community. Share this video with a friend who needs to hear it, because chances are he's struggling with the same thing and has no idea this solution exists. Look, you don't need expensive pills with side effects. You don't need to accept that your sex life is over just because you hit 50 or 60 or 70. Fenugreek and honey, combined with beets, zinc, sunlight, and consistency, can bring back the firm, reliable erections you thought were gone forever. It's not magic. It's biology. It's your body remembering how to work the way it's designed to. Give it 8 weeks. Be patient, be consistent, and watch what happens. Always remember, the truth goes beyond the pill.